Hey there, viewers. Welcome to the Abundance Show Health, Our Real Wealth. This is a new series we have started. Today, we are featuring Dr. Aniket Banvi, who is a naturopathy and yoga doctor. Dr. Aniket Banvi is a naturopathy and yoga specialist doctor who has an altogether refreshing take on health and wellness. Dr. Aniket has attended numerous international conferences on the topic of health and has been a speaker on wellness areas to do with his area of specialization, that is yoga and naturopathy. Let us hear from this doctor about his journey in this field and how he came to choose this particular field. Dr. Aniket is reaching out to many people through his social media contacts and through his wellness programs. He also has an ambitious plan of opening a center of excellence for naturopathy sciences. All this to ensure that health becomes a priority for you and me before it's too late. And naturopathy has a solution to lead us and to show us the path towards lasting health and a great life. So, welcome to you, Aniket. Dr. Aniket, how are you?
Well, I'm doing good, and thank you so much for having me on this show.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So, Dr. Aniket, let me begin by asking you this. How did you come across this particular field of naturopathy, and how did you get to know about this particular branch of medical science, naturopathy and yogic science?
Well, I still remember the way I happened to get to know this about. This is. I was in a phase where my parents. I just finished my pre-university college, that is PUC, and my parents came up to me asking, "Son, what is the next thing you want to do?" And they had an option of either you want to be an engineer or a doctor. What is your
Right.
choice? And I said, see, I'm not, my grades are not good. I definitely don't want to end up doing an engineering. I'm that very much clear about that. MBBS doctor, no, I don't think so. I can be because of the immense amount of time and effort to be a doctor, that doctor at least. So I said, let me see what are the other options. Do guide me through as you have lived these many years, and what is your experience? What would you want to do? As my family and my father is into health and wellness, he had a much more broader point of view about health, and he said me that there is something called as naturopathy and yoga. And incidentally, I had been into yoga from my school time, and I said this might be something interesting because I have been doing it from many years, and let me have a much deeper look at it. And that is when my parents took me to a naturopathy college, which is from where I have graduated, that is SDM Ujre, SDM
Jay.
College of Naturopathy and Yogic Science. And Sri Kshetra Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara is where I graduated my bachelor's degree. And that is when I was introduced to such a beautiful science which helps to help people to heal and also educate people about their own lifestyle. And that is was fascinating for me, and that is how I stepped into that journey.
Very interesting. I think it's very humble on your part to give a credit to your parents and also involve them in the decision making. Very nice. Very interesting. So, after studying for 4.5 years in naturopathy and the yogic sciences, what would you say are some of your major takeaways, if you can name three of them, about health?
There are a number of things, tons of things to be talked about health, and specifically, if coming to the health things, if you are asking me over these many years, me looking at this, many patients I've seen, and many patients are also talking to me about their sleep patterns. And I was also going through research and tons of medical literature, and this might come to be shocking. I referred a website called as dream.co.uk, and I don't know, they stated that human beings spend around 33 years in sleeping, and 27 years for sleeping, and 3 years to trying to sleep. So
Mhm.
human beings, as we work from the time we are woken up until the time we sleep, the next part is sleeping part, and we don't give much of attention to that. And sleep health is a much more to be talked about and also to be educated about. And that is number one thing which I am educating, and I am curious in learning the science of that, and I'm still exploring the many various pills of that to be unlocked. And sleep is one thing that has blown my mind, that how much it has impacted our own life. And the number two thing is about gut health. Well, gut health, it has a mind body connection, we all know, and we have been listening so much about. But mind gut connection is something which we need to take into consideration. And above all this, when it comes to gut health, what people tell about is probiotics and prebiotics. There is one habit which I would want to especially state over here, that is, the digestion process is all controlled by our own body. And the only thing that digestion has given us is only one thing, that is to be doing it voluntarily. The rest all is taken care by our body, and it is involuntary. The voluntary part is chewing the food, and we lack in doing that. The chew the food is number second thing which I would definitely suggest one to inculcate in their life, and that is so much crucial. Because the moment when person eats a food, patients come up to me and say that I've done all these things, I'm taking my minerals, I'm taking my nutritional factors, I'm eating all these healthy foods, but why am I not getting any of these? The reason is you're not chewing it properly. And once you chew it properly, the food is broken down properly, and it is ready to be absorbed from your macro and micro nutrients, and majorly micronutrients, which is our vitamins and minerals. And that is what we lack, and there is so much deficiency in people of because of this. And the number third point in health aspect, which I would say, is specifically doing physical activity. Just 30 to 60 minutes of doing any kind of physical activity, that might be yoga, cycling, walking, anything which you are interested in, and putting yourself in that, it definitely affects not just your mind, body, and also the gut. And this is what I happen to read through various books and medical literature. And these three things are definitely on top of the chart if you want to change your lifestyle and walk towards from illness to wellness.
So very nice, so very simple to follow, so easy to understand and to implement. But people actually, I think, are drifting from this and trying to find out things that are required to heal them or to get out of the illness that they're getting into. But so many easy things to be done from these tips. Now, three tips: sleep, gut health,
Sleep,
and yeah, and
health,
exercise. And
yeah.
exercise, super.
Sleep, chew your food properly, and exercise at least for 30 to 60 minutes for sure.
Very nice. Yeah, yeah. It's so very practically doable, actually. Yeah. So, what would you say, Dr. Aniket, is your motivation? What keeps you going?
Well, this brings me again back to this question I've asked to myself, and I sat down to understand what keeps me going. Not just me going, or what are the certain elements which are in my life that pushes me and moves me ahead. And number one thing which I happen to discover is the curiosity, and the curiosity to understand my own body. When I look back and see that why did I join naturopathy, to understand and what was the selling point when my parents said that, son, you do this, and the only selling point was, they said me that, see, if not anything in your life, you will understand your own body. And I was sold for that. And that curiosity to understand my own body led me to the journey of this. And that curiosity itself fueled my passion, and then the purpose to help people, educate people about health and lifestyle, and then also to help them and facilitate them to be healthy in their lifestyle.
Very good, very good. So the all the elements of things that you learned, that you are teaching others and helping your patients, all of them is also practically applicable for you also on day-to-day living. So, and you're living
Absolutely.
that, right? Good. Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely. So, in the last 5 years, what new habits has come into your life which has improved your life?
Well, the number one thing is book reading. Well, I remember when I was doing my bachelor's degree back in the Ujre, we used to travel to Mangalore, and one place which I definitely would put on my list is the bookstore, that there was a landmark just above the PVR cinemas. Well, I'm a huge movie buff as well. I enjoyed movies also, but the moment I finished my movie, I used to straight away go to the landmark bookstore, and I used to dig into various books. And sometimes I bought those books, but I never went back to those books. What it made me realize is that if you are not ready to absorb the knowledge which is there in the book, you need to wait. And that is what I did. And once I was out, that is when that is when the curiosity of reading books started, and to seek the knowledge. And I started reading the books, various books, and I specifically read non-fiction, but that curiosity has fueled me with reading books and educating myself so that I can educate someone else about health and wellness.
Very nice. So
And
when you
that one habit has changed my whole way of understanding. And also, just be like a sponge so that you can absorb whatever is written in the book. And also, you need to be ready so that you absorb the knowledge which is already there in the cosmos and the universe. So that it's just like tuning your radio to the frequency. It's just the same way. You need to tune your mind, or start reading some of the other books or some of the other article that which has curiosity, which makes you curious about. And that is how you can cultivate something.
Very nice. So when you read books, would you take up one topic and one subject and then try to read a few books around that, or would you like to read diverse subjects and diverse topics?
Well, as me being into health and wellness, what I tried is, I have tried various friction books as well, but they never hooked me up. They never led me to, okay, this book is saying this one, let me read more. That hook was never there in friction, unfortunately, for me at least. But it is a good way to read. I definitely know that, because it expands your imagination and visualization. But I'm really hooked into non-friction books, and specifically into medical literature and medical related books. And that has led me to reading medical books, mostly medical books which are written by various doctors, like Michael Greger, the one who has written How Not to Diet and How Not to Die. These are the certain books which have built up my curiosity, and also have been reading those things very frequently.
Very good, very interesting. So, Dr. Aniket, what would you say would be your advice to students who are just stepping out of college and who are about to embark on their real world journey?
Well, let me be frank and truthful to the people who are listening, that we think certain things and we step out. What is here is always here. What I understood is that over the time, there are so many people who have ideas, who have so many visualizations and so many other things, but it all boils down to one thing, that is taking action. If you don't take action, everything stays in your mind, everything stays with your own self, and it is not going to expand your vision or your thought process with others or with the universe. And that is how you can move. So taking action is one major thing that has pulled me, and also made me realize that it is not the perfection, it is the action which is required to move forward.
Very good. So, you'd say that whatever you learned, implement it, take actions, and don't worry about perfection. Just step ahead and
Yes,
do whatever
at least
needs to be done.
a small change is what it takes to move
Yeah.
rock. Because I remember my father telling me a story, as you asked me this question, and as I was, small change. There was a guy who was pushing a big stone, and he's trying to push it, and he's trying to roll it from a mountain. What he tried is, he tried everything. He used a lever, he did everything, and nothing turned out to be, helpful in his work. There was a small boy who just walked and just moved a small stone, and the whole rock came down by rolling down. So it's that small thing which will change a whole different way of looking and way of understanding your body. Just that small one thing is required to
Yeah.
change everything.
So true, so true. And sometimes we get so bogged down thinking that something really big needs to be done. And when I find the time, I'll do that big thing. But those even
Yeah,
small things that you do in your day-to-day living, that can make a huge difference to your health and to your family's health. Yeah,
so true.
yeah.
So true.
Good, good. The next question I will ask you is this: what is the best and most worthwhile investment that you have ever made?
Well, as I was talking about books, I was buying books at the time when I had not tuned my brain or the frequency to reading books itself. So I was maybe preparing myself, and books are the one best things which I have understood that will help you, not just in your lifestyle, but in any aspect of your life. You are always taking something from a book, and you will definitely add those elements in your life subconsciously. And as our mind is so brilliant that it picks up what you like, and it is a constant pattern recognizing machine. Our brain is itself like that. And once you start enjoying that process of reading books, that will, you know, that's the best investment I've done in my life so far. And I would also, urge the people who are listening to invest their time, not just money, but time and in understanding. And this question brings me to something which fascinated me when I was reading Yoga Sutras. Yoga Sutra is a book which is compiled of 196 sutras, where they tell about how to lead a life, healthy spiritually and also intellectually. And in that, there is something called as why people are suffering. That is a sutra from second part, third sloka, I guess. That is avidya asmita raga dvesha abhiniveshana klesha, which is suffering is because of lack of knowledge, ego, and attachment, and the hatredness and fear of death or fear of anything in your life. And these are the things why people suffer. And if you see, the very first one is avidya, and lack of knowledge is leading to so much of suffering in today's time and scenario. And books, articles, and right things, if you pick and understand your own body in terms of health and wellness, I'm speaking, but there are many books on productivity, there are many books and tons of many other topics which you are interested also will help you lead and educate yourself, and also taking actions will help you change your life.
Absolutely. Very interesting, Dr. Aniket. I think, today is especially after the last 2 years of the lockdown and so many series of things that happened, people are delving into the online space. And I've been personally following so many gurus and I've been learning from them. But I've also seen that the essence of that guru, or the essence of what these masters or these people who are torch bearers of a knowledge are doing, is that they mostly have compressed it into a book format, and they have written books. And I find that reading books from them on any topic is the fastest and easiest way for you to get access to what they are thinking and the broad kind of mindset that they have. And if you have to learn something from someone, books are the best way to learn from them. I think that's the best and
So
easiest way
true.
to do that.
So
Yeah.
true.
Great. So, Dr. Aniket, it has been extremely nice getting to know you. So, this is first of the series. We'll have a series of interviews with you as well, where we will see how we can educate people, talk to people, and understand from you as to what are the small things that can be done in day-to-day living for people to inculcate in their lives, in their families' life, which can make their life easier, which can make them healthier. And also, I think instead of investing in taking care of disease conditions and managing those disease conditions, I think it's worthwhile for people to understand what it takes for their body to heal, and
True.
learn from people like you, experts like you. Yeah, so it's a pleasure having you, and looking forward to more interactions with you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All the best to you. These days, popping pills for chronic ailments have become the norm. The trend of over-medication and self-medication are getting far too alarming. Medications are supposed to help us, not hurt us. No amount of external intervention can help unless the body heals itself. Our body is known to be an abode of astonishing self-healing powers. The immune system of our body is sophisticated, And the magical recovery ways of the body is much beyond the common man's comprehension. Holistic approach to health is becoming extremely relevant today. We need to empower our body's natural healing powers by adopting lifestyle changes for staying fit and healthy. And there should be minimum need for any medical intervention. Today's progressive wellness experts are working closely to ensure that focus is shifted decisively towards preventive healthcare so that people can enjoy the fruits of good health for longer. Chronic diseases and the so-called lifestyle diseases can be prevented and in most cases also reversed. We need to focus on educating and steering people towards an integrated approach to health and life and encourage them to make healthy lifestyle changes. Let's take responsibility to learn about our body and our health. On this channel, we'll be conversing with some amazing experts who are focused on optimal health, improved quality of life, and general well-being for all concerned. More power to holistic health.